Thanks, you're locked on BBC Radio 6 Music, and I am absolutely thrilled to bits to welcome a true hero to the show today, LTJ Bukem. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me on. What can I say? It's amazing to get to be on your show.
Yeah, daytime radio.
Exactly.
But you know what? I thought there might be several of the listeners who are not acquainted with the story of your youth, which is so fascinating. And I thought we might retrace your steps and figure out how it was you came to be where you are today.
Okay, where do you want to start?
Let's begin at the piano, shall we?
Ah, yes, the piano. Well, I guess that is the beginning of my journey. I played several musical instruments, the piano being one of them, the trumpet the other, and also the drum kit. But like you said, the piano was my main instrument, and thanks to an amazing teacher named Nigel Crouch, he just transformed the way I kind of perceived, viewed, looked at music. He was a session musician in his own right, and an amazing one as well. And literally, I remember when I was 10, 11, the first thing he did when he came into my house was sat down and played Lenore by Chick Corea.
Wow.
And I was just sitting there going, what the hell is this? And I want to know what this is, and can I ever play this? And he started playing other bits and pieces, and it just turned out that the jazz element within him was just, it just stuck on me. And so we do all the classical stuff, and we did the scales, and we do what I had to do to learn the piano. But then after each lesson, he'd stay behind, and we'd do a bit of improvisation, or he'd teach me a bit of this, or a chord here, and a chord there, and that's what I'd end up doing during the week, instead of what I should be doing, practicing what I should have been doing for the next lesson, almost. But that did kind of start me off, really, and also kind of start my journey into buying music, because as a result of him coming around for the next few years and teaching me, I obviously wanted to find music that had this, what he was playing me in it. And so that was when I kind of got onto my soul and jazz record buying journey.
You played in a jazz funk band for a little while as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Where'd you get this information from? Well, it was just basically a few of us just got together, a vocalist, I was playing piano, a guy on the drums, and a bassist, I think, and we just messed around, basically. But we didn't actually take it anywhere. We didn't take it out. It was more just in rehearsal studios, having some fun, seeing if we could construct anything that made any sense. And it was just good fun.
Yeah. All of this kind of led you towards your early experiences with sound system culture, didn't it?
It did. I mean, like I was saying before, when I started buying music, when I used to go to my friends' parties when I was like 15, 16, I found myself playing everyone the music, because I've been buying quite a lot of music for some time. So I found myself just playing the music and not partying. So I became a DJ, if you like, very, very early on. But then moved forward a couple of years, and the whole sound system culture was very big in the UK. And I guess for those people who don't kind of understand what a sound system is, it's basically a collection of your friends or your mates, build some speaker boxes, you buy some records, and you put on parties in halls or people's houses, and you each kind of had a job, a role within the sound system, which sounds kind of quite funny in itself. But you had a guy that would maybe be the wire man that would fix up the sound system and fix the speakers and make sure everything's working okay. You'd have an MC, and then you'd have a selector, a guy that was selecting the music and would play the music, and that was very much me. And you'd play for like 8-9 hours at a house, charge a couple of pounds to get in, and that was it. And my big inspiration for all those sound systems were obviously like the reggae sound systems of the time, like the Saxons, the Coxsons, and also guys like Special Edition, Rap Attack, Mastermind. They were all guys that I'd go out to on weekends and check out, and you kind of get heavily inspired by them, which got me buying all my soul music initially, because the sound system times, you were playing soul, you were playing reggae, jazz. So I mean, we're talking artists like Gene Calm, Don Blackman, D.G. Bridgewater, Emotions, Maxi Peebo Bryson, Dennis Brown, our very own D Brown, and Johnny Osborne, Heptone, Studio One. It's just a mix, a mishmash of reggae, soul, which later on then became hip-hop, I guess, you know.
It's really interesting listening to you talk about this, because in spite of the fact that we're 200 miles away from one another, I can feel you absolutely glowing when you talk about this period of your life, you know. It feels very much like a family, I guess, doesn't it, being involved with that kind of culture?
It is, and you're absolutely right. I am sitting there glowing because it was such an exciting time in life. I mean, it's funny that you look at that time and you think, well, we weren't earning any money for it. Anything we made went back into buying music, and you just go and do it all over again, or repair the speaker that broke on that particular night. But it was just such an exciting time, and also such an exciting time for the music. And like you say, the camaraderie between your friends got stronger, and the bond became stronger between the guys that you're involved with. And one of the guys in the sound system back then, our sound system was called Sunshine. And one of the guys, Rob, is still a friend today. I still know him today. And he was the big reason why I became a big collector of music. Just me and him just constantly going to record fairs and record shops. And yeah, it was a fantastic time. Tell
me a little bit about how you began producing. What was the catalyst for that?
That's an interesting one. A guy, I don't know, do you know, I can't remember how I became to be in this place with this person, but a guy was called Paul Waller. And make no mistake, not Paul Weller, Paul Waller. He was a kind of electronic producer of that time. And I think I met him in a record shop and heard him talking about, you know, he needs some keyboards to do, a keyboard player to do a track. And I was like, you know, you're young, you're brave. I'm like, yeah, I can do anything. Yeah, I'll do that. I haven't played keyboards for some time by this time now, probably. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And I went to his studio and just played a couple of keyboard licks and just got absolutely absorbed by this whole process that you can sample music. After you sampled it, you can then go and play it in your own chosen way and then create your own composition. You know, it was just it was just fascinating to me. And that kind of really got me into making music. And when I think, as any producer will tell you, when you first kind of make your own music, it is the most exciting time ever in your life, when you finally realise you can actually operate this stuff, control it, and make something yourself. I mean, originally, and also it's funny, the fantastic thing about sampling when we first started was when you heard producers' compositions from that time, and you heard what they were sampling, you kind of got a background into what they loved musically as well, if that makes sense, with what they sampled and what they took. And of course, in those times, we didn't understand about musical copyrights or the fact that you maybe shouldn't be doing what we're doing, taking pieces of music and making our own music. But it was just something that you did back then. I even remember Guru Gangster in an interview or on a record once. He was having a go at people that were revealing the samples that they'd used on their album, saying, come on, man, you can't let people know what we're doing. It's a secret process. It's, you know, don't let everyone know. But it was those times, you know, it was those times when no one kind of really knew or understood about music copyrights and just did what they had to do. And that was my start. And I remember doing, I think the first track was Logical Progression in 1990. No, actually, no. First track was just before Logical Progression. Was just in a sense, a bootleg of me mixing two tracks together, and we required something from the other side, and so that was my first kind of musical outing. I'm not so proud of what it is now, listening to it now, but it was my first track.
Yeah. Are you writing at the moment?
I am, actually, because I've been out of the studio for some time, and I seriously missed that whole process of just writing music and doing it. And in fact, it's funny you say that. In the last 6 months, I've totally got back into the studio and totally loving it as well. So I'm working on new ideas, and I've always been into kind of that whole melancholic side of music, and I'm trying to sort of write some stuff that massages your brain, promotes positivity, and, you know, music you can reflect on. That's always been my kind of thing that I've been into. So I'm definitely getting on board and seeing what happens, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. There are gigs on the way too. I've got Oval Space in London, May the 14th with Croston Comics, Northampton Roadmenders, the Bukem Sessions on June the 1st, and there's a music and arts festival called Noisley in Leicester on July the 11th. And you know, I just wanted to talk to you a bit about that experience in 2019. I mean, I can hear you buzzing in this interview talking about DJing live, but do you still get the same kind of thrill as you did back in the day?
I absolutely enjoy DJing today exactly as when I enjoyed it back then. I mean, I still play on 2 turntables, which is somewhat strange in this modern day and age of USB keys and how one plays their music nowadays. But of course, I started on turntables many years ago, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the art of the mix, and I enjoy working to get that mix in time with 2 turntables. And so, you know, I don't carry around a 50-kilogram record box anymore. I have it all on the computer, but I still play the turntables, and words can't describe how much I love mixing. It's funny because people often look at me, and you know, I'm not jumping around on tables and waving my hands around, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's just it's not never been my style. I'm kind of concentrating on the mix, because you do need to concentrate when you are mixing. But inside, I am so, you know, I'm bursting with joy at just putting 2 tunes together that can make a whole new tune in essence. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I love doing. And yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
There is that kind of immediacy of the moment as well, isn't there? And as you say, of a mix coming together flawlessly. And when it does, it's just, I don't know, it feels incendiary inside your heart somewhere, doesn't it?
That's right. I mean, that's right. It's always been, it's funny you mention that, it's always been about that for me. My friends will tell you for years, those that have been coming out of me for, you know, years and years and years, they always say to me, you know, if I did a bad mix or in my eyes a bad set, they couldn't talk to me for a week. You know, it's like talking to a true football fan whose team's just lost, and that was me. I'm a bit better nowadays. I've learned to just enjoy the moment and how it is, no matter how it comes out. But there is some sort of, you are in some sort of euphoric state when you can you're as one with a turntable and your mind, and everything is just going flawlessly, seamlessly, and that's the best feeling ever.
It is transcendent, isn't it, in many ways?
That's right.
You very kindly put together a mix for us, a Friday mix for us on the show. I'm thrilled to bits to have this. And I wondered if you could just give us a bit of a heads up about what you've chosen to play.
Well, the mix is, as you know, it's 20 minutes, too short. I need to do like an hour or an hour and a half. So, but I mean, it's wonderful. It's a short mix. But so I try to incorporate just some of the different moods that I love within drum and bass, because there are many different sides of drum and bass, different angles, and I love all of them. So I've tried to, in a very short space of time, just kind of include different facets of that and different moods within that. And there's some, you know, there's some great producers within drum and bass at the moment. The music is on a high. It's in a great state. And there's a great album from Lensman and Technomatic that are due to be released in the next month or so. So there's a couple of tracks from those guys. But yeah, just try to incorporate different moods that I love within D&B.
Lovely. LTJ Bukem, thank you so much for being with us today. What an honour, what a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. It's so great talking to you, and let's do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
And so, well, it's Mary Anne Hobbs. We are live in Salford. This is BBC Radio 6 Music. Grab your phones, my friends. Load up the BBC Sounds app and stick us in your pocket. Take an early lunch break, because LTJ Bukem is in the house, mixing exclusively for us today. He was with me a little bit earlier on to talk about his history, learning piano, playing in a jazz band, and getting involved with sound system culture in his youth. And he is, of course, now one of the world's most beloved drum and bass legends. LTJ Bukem, the 6 Music floor is yours. LTJ Bukem, bringing the joy to BBC Radio 6 Music, mixing exclusively for us on a Friday. Twitter quite literally melting down. Dave Danu says, what a treat. Futurist, proper DJ, proper icon. Andy's been in touch. He had to plug in an extra speaker to listen today. HT says his woofers are wobbling. We've got JVT along for the ride. He says, sounding huge. Richard says, LTJ Bukem literally lifting me into another dimension today. Lexi is buzzing. Popsy says, Friday simply cannot get any better. Grumpy old Chris was in touch too. He says, nothing mini about this mini mix. Thomas is having the most awesome headphone rave, and Katie says beautiful liquid sunshine vibes on a blustery day. A special message here from Matt, who says, I was shown the world of LTJ Bukem at 18 years old in 2001, and now I'm dancing with a 4-month-old baby, Lark, who loves it just as much as me. Just a transcendent moment for both of us. Anyway, I don't know what we're going to do next.